What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we'll be diving into a deck, and I think, everyone's kind of seen, it's kind of made its rounds. It's just one of those decks that kind of always exists, just because the color that we're choosing in today's deck is mono green. It's the deck in general is just the goal is to stomp your opponent's face, playing things that are just very large. They come in the battlefield, they just either it's like, things just get pumped up as you play more things benefit from other things, you ram through things with trample, just do tons and tons of damage to your opponent's face, just from very large creatures that your opponents can barely handle. This is one of those decks I've kind of been like on the fence about actually playing this whole time as we kind of ramp towards the end of the current standard meta and come into the M21, as you kind of see the screen flipping behind me. There's some decks I kind of want to play before things start changing slightly. Overall, from what I've seen in the spoilers for this new set, I'm pretty excited for some of the cards. I don't know if green really gained anything. I've only looked at the ones that are listed on the actual Magic the Gathering website that they've actually officially posted. I know there's other spoilers out there for other sources of cards, but overall I'm fairly impressed by that. But I mean, I'm hoping today, as I kind of record this video, that Shuffler's friendly to me. I was actually doing a stream a little bit earlier, and I be honest, I was just drawing multiple copies of the same cards over and over again. So hopefully we draw the lands, we draw cards, we draw some diverse cards, even though this deck kind of plays a congested amount of certain cards. But hopefully we draw the cards we need, kind of get some wins, kind of show you off what the deck can really do. I think this deck is pretty good. I've seen some people in like Mythic ranks actually play against this deck, or maybe play this deck. So it is there in the Mythic ranks. I don't know if it's like the best deck in the meta, but it has some utility to kind of get around some of the meta decks, just because things are very, very big and just kind of go over the very, very small things that a lot of the meta decks are playing. So hopefully we get those matchups where we can just get a lot of big things on the battlefield. Our opponent can't really keep up with blocking and chumping the whole time, and we're kind of just slowly ramming them in the face until they lose. But enough said, let's go into the deck. Let's break it down, kind of figure out what this deck is made up of. But first, before that, guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to know when I post more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to it. So here is the deck list. It's pretty straightforward. There's nothing really too super crazy about it. Everything is 1, 2, 3, 4, and X. Don't play a lot of lands. Everything's pretty strong for the cost it costs. I mean, there's not really much ramp, though we do play some Castle Garmbriggs just because it's a green mana that just allows us to get even more mana for the 4 that I think it costs to tap it. So definitely a good solid card for this mono green deck. We start off with the Pel Collectors just because it's a very good solid 1-drop for the mono green matchup. It just gets bigger from everything we play past turn 1. So we get Pel Collector in turn 1, play Bark Troll turn 2, everything so on and so forth past. This definitely can get out of hand very quickly. Once it gets 3 counters, it gets Trample. But a very solid cost 1-drop for this mono green deck. Then gets Bark Troll, like I said before, a good solid 2-drop. It's a 2-cost 2/2, but when it comes to the battlefield, it comes actually in the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. And if we want to, we can remove that +1/+1 counter and give it hexproof. But overall, it's a 3/3 body for 2, which is definitely something very solid. It's definitely something that is hard for your opponent to deal with on turn 2. If we're especially on the play, and your opponent has to deal with it on their turn 2, they have to pretty much almost probably spend 2 mana to actually kill it before you go again. So it's definitely a hard card to get rid of off the battlefield. Then you got Ram Through, just because it's our way of dealing damage to things we don't want on the battlefield. And if the thing we target with Ram Through targets something and it deals over damage, that over damage then goes to that opponent's face instead. So that's actually pretty cool. So it's not like the extra damage is wasted by the Ram Through. Warborn Preserver is actually one of those interesting cards here, where it's a cheap card that we kind of actually want to play a little bit later in the game, because, or we can play it early too. Just on the basis that it has flash, it has reach, so we can kind of surprise our opponent if we actually play it. If they may attack him with like a small creature, like a 1/1 or something, we can flash and reach. And then whenever we play another non-human creature, we can tap X. And whenever we do, we actually put X +1/+1 counters on this card. So this card can actually get pretty big. And with the ability that it's flash and has reach, we can play another creature on our turn, tap X to just pump this, and then swing in for damage. So it's like a built-in pump whenever we play any of our creatures. And the deck's pretty much creatures other than the Ram Through, so it's gonna definitely, get some pumps. Lovestruck Beast is another solid card, just on the basis of it has the 3 cost for a 5/5, as well as it taps 1. You can make a 1/1 white human token creature, and the only downfall is he can't attack unless you control 1/1. Deck has a couple 1/1s in it, but unfortunately we really need these tokens to really make Lovestruck Beast attack. Though the other thing too, he is a 5 toughness, so he is a very good defender. Even if we don't have a 1 on the battlefield, if it gets killed or something like that, he can definitely sit back and just eat damage and not actually get removed. Then you got Yorvo is another solid 3-drop for the deck. It comes into play with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. And then whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under our control, put a +1/+1 counter on Yorvo. Then if that creature's power is greater than Yorvo's power, put another +1/+1 counter. So there's some things that are a little bit bigger in the deck, but overall Yorvo is just going to get bigger and bigger. We play a lot of cheap things, so he could get very big very quickly and then just finish out the game even by like turn 3 or 4. Then you got the Gem Razor because it's good for the spot removal of getting rid of artifacts and or enchantments, because those kind of seem to be running around the meta at the moment. He also has reach, he also has trample, so definitely awesome card in general, just to have. It's a 3-cost 4/4 reach trample. Most of the time he'll mutate. Occasionally we have to play him for his 4-cost full cost, but overall the mutate is we're going to mutate it onto something, make that creature bigger, especially if that creature has +1/+1 counters. This creature will actually gain the benefit of actually having those +1/+1 counters. So if you like Stonecoil Serpent for 4 and then play this on top of it, this is actually an 8/8 reach and trample. Definitely something our opponent will most likely not be able to handle unless they get rid of the Stonecoil Serpent beforehand. Questing Beast, because mono green Questing Beast, I mean it's a 4/4 for 4. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. Can't be blocked by anything. You can't be chumped by anything smaller than with power 2 or less, so can't throw a wall or something in front of it, so they have to block it with something bigger. On top of it, any damage that would be dealt by creatures we control can't be prevented, so even if they have something that prevents damage, this is still going to do damage to them regardless. And whenever it deals damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to that planeswalker that player controls. So if they don't block, they have a planeswalker, you attack them in the face, they're going to hit, one of their planeswalkers is going to hit for 4 regardless, even if we don't attack it directly. Then we go to the Vivian. Vivian's really good here because once she gives counters to things and gives them trample to end a turn, we can make one of our creatures fight or deal damage to target creature or planeswalker. Pretty much just shoot damage at it based on its power. And then we can -5 if we really want to. We can choose a creature we own from outside the game, bring it into the game, reveal it, and put it in our hand. So we pretty much, if we're playing against a deck and we just need something from outside to kind of get rid of something, we have the option of also doing that if we get to -5. Like I said before, Stonecoil Serpent, it's very solid. It's a tap X, so whenever we play it, we can tap X to play it for its full. Has protection from multicolored, has reach, has trample. So we can play it for like 4. It has a 4/4 reach trample. Like I said before, if you mutate onto it, like with the Gem Razor, it becomes an 8/8, so on and so forth. Multicolor is very prevalent, just in some of the archetypes that are kind of going around the meta, so it definitely can block some things that are pretty much annoying. So definitely a solid card to play. Like I said, awesome card. Then you got the Castle Garn's Brig. This is the card that makes us play less mana, just for the fact that it, 1, adds green mana. We tap 4 and tap itself. Then we can add 6 green mana, so we can actually, on turn 5, actually add additional mana. So this is where it gets a little crazy. If we have multiples of these out, we can tap that additional mana, then tap another one of these to add even more additional mana. Then we have a ton of mana. We can play a big Stonecoil Serpent or something like that, and things happen. If we get to that point, we're just playing a ton of big things, our opponent may just scoop just because they may not be able to deal with the board. And then we just play 19 Forest just to kind of round out the game. But overall, this deck is pretty straightforward. It's just a big green stompy deck. Hopefully we get against some decks that we can just stomp on through. Let's dive into the games and hope this works out for us. Our opponent goes first. I actually like our hand. We have a Pel Collector turn 1. We have a Stonecoil if we want on turn 2. Yorvo on turn 3, so on and so forth. I think this is actually a very solid hand. They are playing some sort of green-white, so we want to look out for enchantments here. Selesnya enchantments of some sort, I think. No, we're not gonna play our Stonecoil Serpent for free. Okay, so they're playing Bant something. That's not terrible, so we'll bring this into play for 2. Pump up this, hit them for 2. We can then Yorvo next turn, which is very solid play. Puts them definitely on the clock already that they have to think of. Maybe an Uro would be what I would suggest here. Or they could have a counter and maybe want to sit back and wait. Could have crap, what's that dumb thing? The dumb little fairy thing that bounces things. They're thinking though. So I think they're thinking if they Uro, are they going to be able to live the following turn? Or are they going to be in a position that they're going to be okay? Because if we Yorvo here, our Pel Collector already goes. That's perfectly fine. Can't get the Stonecoil Serpent, so if they bounce the Pel Collector, that's not a big deal. I think it's actually good for us for them to do that. I think we just go to combat. We'll go here. And then I think we put the pill collector out and then we say go. There's a possibility they could have a way to wipe the board, so I might as well keep it like this and keep mana open. Just in case they do wipe the board, we do have plays to then counteract it. If they decide to play another Teferi, we could always play another. We could play one of our Godzilla cards or Gem Razors on top of our Stonecoil Serpent, protect it from the Teferi. If they don't do anything like that, all right, they may just target the Pill Collector or not.
Before I make you disappear.
That's actually perfectly fine, because what we could do is I think we'll do this actually. We'll mutate here. Over. We'll attack here and we'll attack there. Still has protection from multicolor, so they can't bounce it. So they're definitely gonna have to deal with it at some point. They do have 5. I don't know if they're playing 4 colors. They have 3 at least. They did play. I mean, I guess maybe they have things. That's perfectly fine. I mean, as long as we can give them threats, I don't think it's that big a deal. I think we go with a 3/3 Stonecoil though. Just on the basis of if they play a Teferi, they can't bounce the Stonecoil and they can only bounce a token. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Tameo doesn't really bother this. They gain some life. They're going to choose a non-land card, put the top 4 cards of the library. Name in. So this is where I think I probably more than likely I Questing Beast. That's fine. Because I can probably kill. Yeah, I could probably kill. Do I go double here and just make sure this is at least at 1? I don't think we block with the 1/1. We'll just double swing. It's not like it's gonna matter, but they can't block this. Let's attack their face. That's fine. And it redistributes 4 damage there, chomps its face, so it has to plus. I could have also Gem Razored here, which could have been good. I guess they're now going to +1 to get the card they got on top of their library, because that's what I would assume. Nice. It's kind of cool they got double Assassin Trophies. They're probably going to Assassin Trophy, Assassin Trophy. They can't Assassin Trophy actually the Stonecoil, which is actually kind of funny. They can't Assassin Trophy the Questing Beast, which would then give us a land. Right? Puts it on the battlefield. Interesting. Still has protection from multicolors, so that's fine. Let's just attack face, because yeah. Well, just in case, they're probably more than likely an Assassin's Trophy, so I might as well give. Can't do it with Assassin's Trophy. You have to have a bounce. They have to Assassin's Trophy. Have to do it. And if you play it, bounce it, it still then does 7 to your Tameo. Alright, that's fine. So they're bouncing it back. They didn't Assassin Trophy, which is weird.
Our time together is finished.
I'm gonna end turn. I'm actually gonna flash in the Wildborn Preserver at the end of turn, just in case something they do some sort of crazy sorcery here. There's their black mana. I mean, they got an Assassin's Trophy here, or they're in a whole heap of trouble. Or they go searching for something. I don't know what that's gonna do. It's got to be single color. Like if they have a board wipe here, that's probably their best bet. Though they don't know we have a flash card in our hand, so that's fine. Can't target that, unfortunately. You can do Quest and Beast. You have to block here, unfortunately. You can get rid of the 1/1. Alright, so they are gonna play. They're gonna go look for something, tap out, which is good, because then we can flash this in. We can play Yorvo. I'm very surprised they just didn't Assassin's Trophy. They probably didn't want to give us a land. They're probably looking for something that's gonna be able to target this armored, this Gem Razor. Alright, so Time Wipe is fine. Then I guess I don't play anything. Play another land. Go to combat. We'll swing in. We'll hit him for 7. And then I guess we'll end turn. They'll probably Time Wipe here, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, that's fine. What is it? Whenever I play a non-human, they're both 3. They have something to bounce. Take action. 3. Go to combat and attack for 5. That's fine. I'll take that action. I'll get a green. So I'm only gonna give them the Love Struck Beast. See if they do anything with it. That's actually perfectly fine. Take the Love Struck Beast because Yorvo's stronger. They may bounce and look for an answer. But if I draw another Stone Coil, that's fine. Kind of forgot they had the Stone Coil. The thing is, they have to either block this, and I hope I don't draw one. I guess they waited on their upkeep. They actually put a stop. This can't attack unless I draw a 1/1. They could tap down and I think that's okay. They're tapping very precisely here. 1 blue and 2 colorless. They're gonna wipe the board and then bounce back their Bay of Wishes and discard their hand, because that doesn't work. You need 2 cards to do that. Grazer. Interesting. So they play double Grazer here, which is interesting. I mean, they have to block because that's lethal. It doesn't have trample, so I don't know why they double blocked. Okay. Interesting. I won't attack. And game one's ours. Opponent goes first. I actually like our hand. We have turn 1 play Love Struck Beast. We can turn 2 play Barkai Troll. Turn 3 play the actual Love Struck Beast. Our opponent is unsure what they're playing. White something. White Boggles? White Cycle. Interesting. Yeah, so we'll play token here. We'll say go. They may get aggressive and swing in at us, so that's not the biggest of deals because we can just swing back. It's only a 2/2. Maybe they have a land. Double white, okay. Really going hard here for the cycle. No blocks, that's fine. I mean, at some point, what I could do is play this. I can at least swing back in for 1. And turn. I mean, depending on what they play here, I'll take 3. No blocks. You can do your thing. That's fine. Let's see. What do I want to do here? Do I play the Stone Coil? Do I play the Love Struck Beast? I think I play the Love Struck Beast. And I swing him for 3. I know they're gonna tap 1 to burn us, or not. Maybe they don't have any cycling. Interesting. No end of turn cycling either. Okay, so they didn't draw a cycling card. That's a first. Okay, they're playing, interestingly, very big cycle. I've not seen this played in that cycling deck. They have 2 of them. Interesting. They're not gonna attack here because I don't think that's. I don't think that would work. What I could do, which is, I mean, I guess I do this. We'll attack in for 7 or 8. I can math. End turn. I think we Wildborn Preserver here and flash it in on them if they think to do something to us. That's fine. They're gonna cycle at least once. So they're at 3 actually. That's actually very surprising. Resolve. 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 So they got really lucky about drawing. I've built many decks with Yadaro in it. I've never gotten lucky and actually gotten Yadaro. Pass to attackers. My turn. We'll put this into play. That's really good. I can play this for 6. Do I swing in first and just see what happens? I think we just swing in. Let's see how you block here. We'll attack with those 2 and go to blocks. Alright, at least getting a token. They have 4 cycles in the graveyard. They only have 1 card in hand, so it's not the worst. I'm very surprised they wouldn't block more. I could tap this down for 6, do this for 2, or do this for 3, and put this on top of it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Or I could do this for 3. I could have. That's fine. Why can't I pay 3? I have 3 mana available. 2? Why can't I do anything? Come from 0? I'm so confused. What happened there? I guess we'll put this on this, and we'll just put it over. So big old body that they can't actually shock down, so they have to deal with. They could burn our face, but they can only do one card, so that'd only get them to 5. We have blockers. Question is, do they have Yadaro? Yadaro. They cycle it, they're good on a 3 cards, but they get a Yadaro out. Oof. Oof. They have a Zenith Flare? A Zenith Flare for 5? You can get rid of my 5/5. I don't know why this didn't work. You may pay X if you do put X +1/+1 counters. They probably have a cycle. Take action. I should have tapped this differently. Let's do 4. There we go. Let's attack with everything. What do you got for me, dude? You probably got a Zenith Flare somewhere. Can't Zenith Flare my 7/7. It's either you got the Zenith Flare or you block. I don't think I have enough toughness to absorb all the trample. Because they block everything. Okay, that's 11. You still have to block across the board. You have to block the Love Struck piece. You gotta do it. It's like there was no option. Now, if they don't have a Zenith, if they have the Zenith Flare, they're dead. If they have the Zenith Flare, we're dead. If they have Yadaro, we're dead because Yadaro has trample. All right. One more. See, they got it. They don't. All right. Good game. I don't know if that means he's got us or... Well, no, because he could have the cycle to get that. Okay. That's the only possibility. Maybe he's saying good game because he had it. That was a good game, though. I think that was a very even matchup. Ooh, big old giant auto. Opponent goes first. Oh my god, the Shuffler. We're on the draw. I think we bin Vivian. Let's we put Vivian underneath because she's just the most expensive out of all this. The rest gives us plays. Alright. So we're playing this deck. So we'll do this. Put a blocker at least so they have to do something about it. Hopefully draw lands. That's the thing. We draw lands. They play a bird. That's okay. I'll take 2. Yeah, not drawing land sucks. But I think the Pel Collector is probably the best here, because it says whenever another creature control enters the battlefield or dies, but that creature's power. Alright, we gotta find something here, because we're gonna die quickly. I'm not gonna block it this turn. I definitely need... Yeah. Problem is that... Alright, so my hopeful here is I attack in on their turn or something, on my turn or something with the Love Struck piece, and maybe get them surprised by That's fine. Do you have something to make it bigger? They don't. Interesting. So they just... Are they out of gas? Okay, so they're going all out, which I don't think is something they should do. Interesting. Could that have been a misplay? Got something? I guess you got their ability. Unfortunately, he got the perfect hand against us because it's just 5, and he just makes it unblockable. Oh man. Just had the lucky card. Makes sense to why he then burned his hexproof spell. So in closing, overall this deck performed fairly well. I think the last matchup our opponent just got really lucky. It was tough to compete with an unblockable creature, unfortunately, and he had the all that glitters and was just able to keep it to have vigilance. So it definitely hurts us if our opponent has that and then makes it pretty much protection from green. So unfortunately we lost that last game, but I mean we played 2 solid matches before that, and I think both of those decks were very solid, like competition to see where this deck fits in that sort of matchup. Overall the deck plays fairly well. It has very solid curve, like I said before. You know, we got things, and we got the things that are right, and then, like, using the Stone Coil Serpent in like a way to give things protection from like kill spells is definitely very solid, especially being able to put a Gem Razor on top of a Stone Coil and stuff like that. We didn't really use Vivian at all in this, but I mean, she's in the deck, she exists. We just didn't really draw her at all in any of our matchups. Love Strike Beef is just, like I said, is just a very solid blocker because he's a 5/5 that, you know, makes a token so you can attack in, but if not, you just have a 5/5 blocker. Ram Through is another solid spot removal card, especially with something that has trample, so we just ram through and just do damage to the face. But overall, I like this deck. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the deck. I don't know, also, just thrown out there, I don't know if there's a way to make this deck really that is more budget friendly, just because some of the cards have like strength in like what they do. Like, I don't know if there's a card that's like a Pel Collector that costs 1. I mean, maybe you could make this maybe more of a mono green mutate deck and maybe benefit from there. There could be some cards there, but I think that's a whole different deck for a different day. I don't think it's actually like a stompy style deck like this. Let me know in the comments below if you've been playing like any sort of mono green decks or what decks you've been playing. If you like this video, guys, hit that like button. If you want to know I post more videos, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you in the next video.